Okay, the recording has started, so please, I will try not to swear. Let's lie down in our semi-supine position and think about our body placement. You want the pelvis nice and flat on the floor, lower ribs engaged, shoulders nice and wide. And just allow the body to relax. Feel the feet, big toe, little toe and heel. Feel them heavy and placed on the mat. And do a few breaths in this position. Breathing deeply. And just feel your body sink into the mat. Hello, Lucy. Hope you're feeling better. Just take things easy tonight if you need to, and let me know if you've got any problems. Brilliant. Perfect. And then from there, everyone, take your arms out to the side into a T, and then cross your body around chest level, trying to aim your fingers for the mat either side of your body. And of course, that will very much depend how much frontage you have. And then open out into a T again. And cross over the arms. So you're giving yourself a hug, but reaching your fingers towards the mat's edge each side of you to get a lovely stretch around the back of the shoulders and the top of the bicep deltoid area. And then opening up again. And try breathing out as you give yourself a hug. And breathing in as you open out into a T. And do a few more of those, just feeling that stretch each side. And that lovely opening breath. That's it. So we're warming up the shoulders and the arms. One more into a T. And then you can place your hands on your ACEs bones, the little bony bits at the front of your pelvis. And we'll do some tiny pelvic rocks and into a clock. So if you think about sending your tailbone away or your pubic bone away, and then drawing it back, and then softening your lower back into the mat. That shows up properly. So breathing in, and then breathing out to soften the lower back in. Make it really small to start with, really slow, so you're not pulling anything at this early stage. And again, using as big a breath, as slow a breath as you possibly can. So I can see the pelvis moving. That's lovely. Everyone's keeping their knees lovely and controlled and still. From there, once you're centered again, think about dropping one hip down to the side. You're keeping most of the bum on the floor and then back into that flat neutral position and then over to the other side. So it's like a little boat rocking on the waves of a beautiful Mediterranean or Caribbean sea. Oh. I've just remembered one of my friends is in Antigua and I'm slightly jealous. Not that I've ever been, but the thought of sunshine and beaches, maybe a cocktail, wouldn't go amiss. And again, use your breath. As we're going from side to side, it doesn't really matter, in or out. Have a little play. And hopefully the more you do of these, the more natural the movement will feel. Just a couple more each side. Tiny micro movements, but again, so powerful. And then when you've centered yourself up, we will turn that into a pelvic clock. So think about sending the pubic bone away from you, little arch of the back, then over to the side, softening your back into the mat, over to the other side, back to the pubic bone away, so your little arch, and then reverse the direction. And again, nice and slow. Trying to keep the knees as stable as possible, but there will be movement as you're doing a little rotation of the pelvis round in a clock movement. Relaxing the shoulders. Keeping the chins nodded and your neck nice and long. One more in each direction. And then coming back to our neutral semi-supine position, take your arms bent at the elbows into sort of little chicken wings. So they're roughly shoulder height, maybe a bit lower. And we'll do our pelvic tilts in this position. So I want you to feel a lovely stretch around the front of your chest. If it gets too much, just bring your arms back down. So as you breathe out, tummy button to spine, and just soften the lower back into the mat again. And breathing in to return to neutral. And again, really use your breath to move the pelvis. And again, keeping the neck long, keeping the knees still. Breathing out, coming up just to lower ribs level, maybe slightly lower. So you hover the bum off the floor, breath in to hold, and breathing out. Come back to the start. And continue. So breathing out, tummy button to spine, curling the pubic bone towards you to hover the little bottom off the floor. Little breath in, and then peeling back down again. And a bit higher, so definitely to lower rib level here. Breathing out, bums off. Breath in to hold. Soften as you breathe out through the front of the body, placing the lower back down onto the mat, and then sending the pubic bone back to neutral. Again, one more at this level, breathing out, peeling off. Breath in to hold. And then peeling down as you breathe out, really working through the whole of the back, like that beautiful string of pearls analogy. And then up to bra strap level. So breathing out, tummy button draws in, curls the pubic bone towards you, peeling off lower back, middle back, up to bra strap level. Here as you breathe in to hold, and then as you breathe out, bring your arms up over your chest. You're doing a little pec press. Really find some engagement. Breathing in to open, and then breathing out, softening through the chest. Placing your body back down piece by piece by piece. Finding that neutral position at the bottom again. Ready to go, breathing out, peeling off. Breath in to hold. On your next out breath, press those arms towards each other. Breathing in to open. And peeling down on your out breath, softening through the chest. A breath in to prepare. Ready to go. One more time. Breathing out. Healing off. Piece by piece. Breath in to hold. Breathing out. Press over your chest with those arms. Breathing in to open. And breathing out, peeling down, soften through the front of the body, piece by piece by piece. Lovely. Bringing your arms up towards the ceiling, draw them into the shoulder joint. So you feel all of your shoulder onto the mat. And we'll do our arm and leg slides. So sliding one arm behind you, extending one leg away. And at that point, just point and flex the foot. And then breath out to come back to this neutral start. Trying to keep your arm as straight as possible, so it may or may not reach the floor behind you, and a little point and flex of the foot. So nice and slow, using your whole breath and trying to keep the arms heavy in the shoulder joints. You might find that gives you a little bit more movement. So my arms always try to bend as they come behind me. And I find drawing the arm in really allows me to keep a little bit more straightness, if that's a word. Still thinking tummy buttons drawn into the body, ribs just floating over the pelvis. That's it. So working the ankle with that point and flex will help release any calf tension, get those muscles working. Lovely. So we're looking very nicely under control. Just a couple more. Balance yourselves up. So if you've done one side, finish it off the other side. And then come back to your semi-supine position. This time take your arms overhead. Think about drawing the ribs down, tummy button to spine. And I want you to imagine that your chest is attached, as it is, to your shoulders, but it doesn't move. So I want you to bring your arms to the ceiling, nod the chin. And because your arms and shoulders are moving forward into a curl up, your chest has to move up as well. And then breathing in to return. And either keep your arms at the ceiling or take them behind your head, wherever is most comfy for extra challenge. But the key thing is to think about the chest being attached to the shoulders and coming back down. So I want to make sure your pelvis doesn't move and it's just the upper body flexing forward. So make sure the chins are nodded. That's it, lovely. You don't have to come up really high, but hopefully you start to feel a little bit more intensity through those abdominal muscles as you curl up. Oh, fabulous, Maud. Lovely, Caroline, really solid. That's it, Lucy, beautiful. Breathing out, curling forward. Yes, Hilary, good. That's it. Making sure the shoulders are wide as possible as well. You've got room to move. That's looking very nice. And we'll have 2 more. And on the second one, we're going to move on to the 100. So on this one, drawing your arms down by your side. If you want to bring your legs into tabletop or extend them away, please do. Otherwise, keep them on the mat. And we're going to beat the arms and breathe in. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Breathe out. 2, 3, 4, 5. In, out. In, out. In, out. So beating from the shoulders, Hilary, not the wrist. So tummy button drawn down. That's it. Nearly there. Doing great. Tummy buttons drawing through the body into the mat beyond. Chins are nodded. In, 2, 3, 4, 5. Out, 2, 3, 4, 5. Last set. 2, 3, 4, 5. Out, 2, 3, 4, 5. Fabulous. Hug your knees in. Have a little rock from side to side. Well done. That was looking really solid. Fabulous. Then from there, why not? Let's roll like a ball. So from here, find a little bit of motion. Nod the chin. Press the shins away. Just rock yourself forward and back until you come up to your balance point. Then hands to the outside of the ankles, curling the back, and then trying to go back to the shoulders and come back to your balance point, keeping the ball shape, keeping the flexion through your back. Don't hit your heads on the floor if you can help it. Keep just to the shoulder blades. If you find you're a little bit out of control, just balance on your bottom and challenge yourself by just rocking forwards and back. Otherwise, have a little bit of fun. That's it. Good. Lovely. If anyone wants the challenge of a nice open leg rocker, that's it, Caroline, go for it. Legs a little bit wider. Think about lifting the heart and then send the body away. Oh, do better than me. That's it, Lucy. There's a bit of physics. Play around with it to start with. So you're holding the front of your shins, finding your balance point before rocking back again. Because the head is heavy, if you nod it forward as you come up, that will help you. Yes, more brilliant. Lovely, Lucy. Good. Yes, Hilary, good. Oh, Caroline, that's fantastic. One more. Oh, that's really exciting. I like that. Good, fantastic. Okay, let's take it down a notch after that. You deserve a little bit of a rest. Back into semi-supine. And if you want to keep your feet on the floor, we'll do hip rolls. Otherwise, up back into tabletop or even extended if you so wish. So breathing in, your arms are out by your side and a little T. Trying to keep the back of the shoulders on the mat. Breathing out, draw them back to center. And again, breathing in, take them over. Keeping the tops of the knees in line with each other. So only go as far as you can make that happen. And the further you angle your legs away, the harder it is to use your abdominals to control them. So work within the range that's just slightly bit more of a challenge, but no pulling on the back. Very fine line for each one of us individually. That's it, lovely, Caroline. Good, everyone. Making sure you're thinking about drawing the tummy and those muscles into the body. To keep the back nice and secure. Good. Breathing out to bring them back to the center. Breathing in to take the legs over to the other side. And as that is looking very, very nice and comfortable, let's do another challenge. Come up to sitting a little bit. I don't know quite what you call it really. onto your forearms, so you've got your arms behind you. We'll do a little windmill or hip circles. So extending legs either to straight, if you can keep them straight, feet turned out. If you want to have them bent, that's perfectly fine. You want to think heart up to the ceiling and don't sink into the shoulders. And we're going to circle around and back to the start. Around, swooping to the floor and back to the start. So we're trying to keep the body as still as possible. Oh, she says, I can only do a few of these. So make sure your heart is lifted. Thinking about tall through the shoulders. Yeah, if it's hurting your back, bend the knees and just make it really small, because that in itself will be a huge challenge on those abs. So circling one way and then circling the other. I'm not in the business of trying to injure people, so work with your body and rest when you need to. Lovely, good. One more in each direction, because they are a toughie. We don't do them very often. Nice bit of classical Pilates. And after your last one, just lie back, hug those knees in. That was looking great. And have a little rest. Wonderful. Very, very impressed. And then roll over onto your side. We'll do some sideline work. So I want a nice long line. It's very challenging to get camera angles to work properly. So if I do adjust units, doesn't sound right, ignore me. Make sure you can see your feet out of the corner of your eye, and hand either in front for balance or behind, whichever works, or on top of you. And then breathing out, lifting, looking towards the mat, thinking long and back. So I don't need any bananas. It's just a long, low hover. Thinking about the legs glued together and the underneath leg drawing up through the inner thigh to do all the work. Lovely. And I'm sure you don't need me to tell you, if you feel anything in your lower back, just bring your legs slightly further forward. Shoulders over shoulder, hip over hip. And any tension in the neck, make sure you're looking towards the mat. Great. Using your breath, so breathing out to lift, breathing in to lower. And because you all look so good at this, really think long. So imagine someone's pulling both ends of you as you lift and hover. Oh, good, lovely. One more set. And then either staying down if it's comfortable or coming up, bring one leg in front. And so you've got your underneath leg with the inner thigh pointing upwards. So if you want slightly more of a challenge, again, you're coming up onto your forearm. Let's see this mat. So you're really thinking underneath waist drawing up. And we're just going to lift and lower the underneath leg. So you have to think tummy button in. You want your body angled directly away from the underneath leg. And again, if you're up, you probably want to look down at the mat. And your mind is thinking about the inner thigh, lifting and lowering, because that leg is really long. That's it. So you don't want to be sinking into your shoulders. You want to be sinking up. A nice bit of length through the neck. And if you're on your forearms, you probably won't get the leg particularly high. If you lie down, it will lift a lot higher. That's looking fabulous. Hilary, just think about the underneath waist, drawing away from the mat a little bit more. 2 more. Wonderful. Then extend both legs and turn into a little Charlie Chaplin, either staying up on your forearms or staying lying down. We'll develop A. So this is the one where you draw your toe up towards your knee, put the heel down, bring the knee into the chest, extend to the ceiling, flex the foot, inner thigh squeezes to come back down again. So draw the foot in, heel down, knee in, extend to stretch the hamstrings, flex the foot, really stretch the leg back down to the start. That's it, lovely. Good. Very nice, everyone. I think I say it every time, don't I? You do this so well. One more. Squeezing down. Oh. And then bend the knees forward. And yes, either stay up or come down wherever is comfy. Heels in line with your bottom. And put a finger on the side of your bottom, because then that will help engage the muscles we want to work. So breathing out, just open the knee, breathing into close. And whether you're up or down, just think about the underneath waist as well, drawing away from the mat. And we want to make sure we're not just rocking as we open, we're staying rock solid. And just having a finger on the muscle area that we want to work tries to help isolate those. And I feel this all the way down the outside of my thigh. And again, we're all different. And it depends, obviously, how we're put together as well. Breathing out to open, breathing into close. That's it. One more. And as we're on our sides, we might as well side plank. So depending on how your shoulders and arms are, either have an arm out in front, extend the leg slightly, top leg crossed over underneath leg, or you can stay down on your forearm. Want to think about lifting up again through the underneath waist, squeezing the inner thighs together, arm up to the ceiling. You can take it overhead, back to the ceiling, and come back down again. That's it. So if you're on your hand, wrist, get a little bit more oomph in the diagonal. Exactly the same principles apply, whatever version you're doing. So drawing up through the waist, tummy button in, squeezing the legs, arm to the ceiling, arm overhead. Nice length through the neck, into the shoulders. That's looking really good. Lovely, Hilary. Beautiful, Maud. Yes, Caroline, strong as ever. Lucy, that is beautiful. Good. 2 more if you can manage it. I know it's tough. And it's still the beginning of the week. as my watch tells me, exercise will increase your body battery resilience. As you just want to cry and curl up in a corner. Lovely, then coming back down. So we've done the side. Let's do forward plank. Just roll forward. I'll turn around so I can see you still. Starting on your hands and knees. Think shoulders wide, away from your ears, stepping back with one leg, stepping back with the other. So you've got roughly your bottom in line with your shoulders. That's it, lovely, Lucy. And we'll hold it there, tummy button drawing in. Anyone who wants to do front pull, we will rock forward and back, keeping the bottom on the same line as the shoulders for 3. So last one. And then lift one leg if you're feeling stronger. If you don't want to do any more, just put your knees down. And again for 3. Place the foot down, lift the other leg, really stretch it away, and rocking forward and back for 3. Putting the leg down, putting the knees down, sitting back, giving the wrists a little bit of a love and a shake. Wonderful. So we'll do the other side, but we're going to start and work in reverse. So we're going straight onto side plank on the side that you haven't worked. So whatever version you're doing, either down on your forearm, top leg crossed over underneath leg. Think about sending your body up diagonally over that underneath shoulder, arm up to the ceiling, overhead, back to the ceiling and down. So breathing out to squeeze the legs together, lifting up and over. If and when you watch this video back, you will see my arm shaking. That's it, lovely. That's it, Caroline, good. I find the more I squeeze my legs together, squeeze my waist in, the stronger I feel. That's it. Yes, Hilary, good. Lovely, Maud. And of course, one side always feels easier than the other. That's it. Lovely, Lucy. Good. I think you've got one more on this side just to balance up. Breathing out, squeeze the legs together, waist in, arm up to ceiling, overhead, back to ceiling, and coming down. It gets easier now, doesn't it? So that's the blessing of doing it this way around. Bend the knees up, heels in line with the midline of your bottom, ready to shell, either lying down or on your forearm, whatever you want to do. Breathing out to lift the knee and breathing in to close. So if you are up, don't end up just sinking down and pulling everything. Think strong and tall. And again, a finger on the bum sometimes helps isolate the muscles you want to move. That's it. Breathing out to open, breathing in to close. So nice, slow and controlled. Good. Really are pleasures to watch. It's looking really nice. Three more. Good. Extend the legs back in our little V shape, Charlie Chaplin, ready to develop a. So draw the foot up, heel down, knee in, extend the leg, flex the foot, squeeze it down, thinking someone's pulling it away from you. So again, either lying down or on your forearm, whichever version you want to do. But try and do the same as you did last time, which I know I'm not. But for those who'll be watching at home, not here tonight, just demonstrating both versions. Lovely. Keep thinking about the waist, drawing in your abs, shoulders relaxed as possible. Just getting that lovely movement through the leg. Every single joint is working. Every muscle is working. This is a fantastic exercise. Do one more. Good. And then it's the one where we bring the top leg forward. Think drawing the underneath waist up and then lifting and lowering the underneath waist, taking our focus to the inner thigh of that long leg. And if you're lying down, extra little bit of lift through the abdominals to make sure you don't just sink and flop into the mat. Everything is engaged and working with that extra work through the underneath leg. That's it. Good. So we're keeping that underneath leg as straight as possible, taking our intention to the top of the inner thigh, getting that working. Good. Two more. Final time. And then it's finishing off with that double leg lift. So set yourself up for success. Draw the underneath shoulder down. If you want something between your head and the arm, obviously. See your feet out the corner of your vision. Breathing out to lift, looking at the mat, thinking long both ends. Breathing in to come back down. So again, any tension in the lower back, make sure those legs are slightly further forward. That's it. And just notice where your top leg is. Make sure it's feeling really long so your legs and feet are stacked against each other. So imagine someone's pulling those legs away from you. And it's just that long, low hover. Don't need to come up very high either end. Breathing out to lift. Breathing in to return to the mat. And do two more. Beautiful. And after your last one, roll over onto your front. And take your arms down by your sides. Give your legs a little bit of an adjustment to make sure the front of the thighs are facing the mat. And allow your shoulders to be heavy. So your palms are facing the ceiling, ready for our arrow. And you want to breathe in to lift the shoulders. Breathe out, slide them down your backs to hover the arms. Breath in to rotate so your thumbs end up at the ceiling. And breathing in to place yourself down. Breathing out, lift the shoulders. Breathing in, reach fingers for toes. Breathing out, rotate thumbs to the ceiling. And breathing in to return to the mat. And continue. In your own time for this one, you've done this so many times with me. Keeping the chins nodded, so I want you to focus on the crown of your head, the top of your head reaching away. Legs stay glued to the floor, so you don't have to come up too high. Just thinking someone's pulling your heart through the chest, through the head. So that's leading that upper back extension. And really feel the difference. Allow the shoulders to fall forward onto the mat before lifting your next movement. That's it. Good. One more of these. It's always so nice to extend the back instead of all the times we're curled over our computers and phones and driving and goodness knows what. Then from there, if you need a little child pose in between, feel free. Otherwise, take your legs nice and wide, turn them out so you've got your inner thighs on the mat and your big toe joints on the mat. Elbows bent, and we'll do a nice cobra. So I want to think about tailbone sending away from you. Really anchor your pubic bone into the mat. Draw the shoulders down the body. Tummy button drawing in. Again, your heart is lifting. Crown of your head is lifting away. If you're happy to, you can straighten your arms. And you're really squeezing your bum to feel nice and strong. And then bend the elbows. Take you back down to the mat and ready to go again. So squeeze the bum, think reaching forward with the head and the chest first, then coming up as high as you're happy to without feeling anything in your lower back. Chins stay nodded, and then returning to the back. So your legs are not moving. All the work's happening in the upper back, and you should feel a stretch through your tummy button all the way through the front of your chest. That's where you should be feeling this particular exercise. Lovely. Do one more set. Very nice. Then take your knees nice and wide, sit back into a child pose, press your arms forward so you're sending your tailbone towards your heels to find that beautiful stretch in the lower back, just in case any tension has crept in. I'm sure it hasn't. And then scooting back round, back to more abdominal work. Why not? So simply to start off with, we will do some toe taps. So I would like you to actually hug your knees into your chest first of all, then keeping your lower back in the mat, taking your knees ever so slightly away from your body, still trying to keep that lower back engaged in the mat, and then squeezing the bum to take one leg down and then returning. So you've got abs drawing in, bum and hamstring work, lower back fully engaged, shoulders as wide and relaxed as you can possibly manage it. Breath in to tap down, breathing out to return. So it's the whole leg moving, not just the lower leg. You really want to think, engaging the back of the legs all the time, almost fighting your back that is trying to lift off the mat. So you want to keep that down. Fantastic. Okay. One more on each side. And then again, hug your knees into the body, just to release any tension for a moment. Then feet together, knees out to the side, hands behind your head. And we're going to do a similar thing. So this time we're going to curl forward, thinking about the chest curling forward, and the toes are going to tap down. And then you're going to return back to that start. So like a little rocking horse, you don't want to pull on your neck too much. You want to think shoulders wide and head pressing into your hands. Again, the abdominals are down and your chest and shoulders are working as one. So all the time, draw the tummy into the body. So your abs are working constantly. Breathing out to curl up. Breathing in to return. That's it. And on your next curl up, stay there. So keep drawing the tummy button through the body and just tap and lift the legs. And we'll do 5 of those. Really use your breath, nice and slow. Then we won't pull anything. 2 more. That's it, lovely. And then hug your knees in. Have a little rock from side to side. Release off any tension. We haven't finished yet. We're going to press the shins away, nod the chin forward, and we'll do our single leg stretch. So staying up in that position, lift the lower legs ever so slightly and just change legs. Breathing out on each change. And 10, and 9, and 8, and 7, and 6, keeping tummy buttons down, and 4, I might have missed one, and 2, and 1, and hug your knees in. Wonderful, rock from side to side. Come up to sitting, because we will work on our obliques with a bit of spine twist. So arms out to the side. You might want to find some height if you need to. If you get tension through the front of your thighs, just bend your legs. Otherwise, nice and tall. And simply breathing in to rotate. Breathing out to center. And take a moment just to notice where your feet are. If there's any shifting going on, don't rotate quite so far. So breathing in, keeping the shoulders down. That's it. Thinking slightly further forward with the chest, maybe to get that completely straight back. And if it's too much on the shoulders, bend an elbow and straighten out in the center. That's it. At this point, you can have a big smile as well, as everything is probably hurting and shaking. One more each side. Good. Then you can slightly bend your legs, arms out in front. We will do a little spine stretch forward. So imagine someone's pulling your waist away. You're reaching the shoulders forward, reaching your head forward, so you're getting a big stretch through the back. And then sitting tall. You can do it straight legs, bent legs, whatever works for you, whichever is most comfy. But focus very much. Imagine someone's got their arms around your waist. They're pulling you back. Your shoulders and arms and upper back are reaching forward as you breathe out, and then breathing in to sit tall. One more of these. That's it. And we'll put all of this together with our lovely rollbacks and a bit of rowing. So arms out in front to start with, make a fist, and we're just going to imagine we're rowing a boat. So you're drawing elbows in, you're rolling back as far as you can before you collapse, and then reaching forward towards the toes. Very simple to start with. Thinking about the heart nice and proud, and the tailbone is shifting, or the pelvis is shifting like we do with the pelvic tilts. So just having a bit of arm action may help if you find rolling back and forward more challenging. That's it. Good, Lucy. And imagine someone sitting on your legs. One more of these. Lovely. We'll change the arms on your next one. So arms out in front, palms facing upwards, shoulders away from the ears. You're going to bend the elbows, and that will send you back. Try and come back to the floor. Immediately turn the arms up and the palms over. And as you curl forward, take the arms behind your back. So almost swimming, and then waft forward. Oh, it's actually like a flapping bird. And then bend the elbows. Send the pelvis away from you. As soon as you hit the floor, reach the arms to the ceiling, lifting the heart over, flapping your wings. That's it. And then bending forward, sending your pelvis away. That's it, Maud. Lovely. Reaching the arms to the ceiling. Using your abdominals, curling forward. That's it. Sitting up nice and tall again. Palms come as you bend your elbows. Send your tailbone away, rolling back to the mat. That's it, Hilary. All the way down if you can. Turning your palms over, reaching up to the ceiling and up again. Well done, Lucy. And then swooping round. One more of these. Keeping the shoulders nice and wide. That's it, Caroline. Lovely. Nice and smooth. Good, Maud. Good. That's it, Hilary. Lovely. Well done. And then finish sitting up. We've got a final challenge with our bit of rotation. Charlie's Angels hands. So this time, definitely have your knees bent and fiddle around with their position at, close or further away. Rotate one way. You're going to breathe out and roll down on one side of your spine. And if you can, breathing out to curl back up. It may feel easy, it might feel challenging. Come back to center and then rotate to the other side. And then really focus and concentrate about coming down on that other side of your spine. Till you hit the ground, nodding the chin, tummy button in. Oh, cool. Try to come back up again. Back to center. And then go to the other side again. Really trying to work through each part of the spine as you roll down. Good. Fantastic. Oh, well held. Finish off the one you're doing, or balance yourself up if you've done one side and need to do the other side. Well done, Maud. Good. Then give everything a little bit of a shake. Where are we for time? Oh, nearly done. Let us wind down with a bit of bridging, a bit of dog and a cat. And that should do us nicely. So find your shoulders nice and wide on the mat. This will be easy peasy after all of that work. So think narrowing in at the hips, squeezing the bum just to come up onto a nice long level line. Breath in. And then a big karate chop at the pelvis, nice and stable and slow, ready to breathe out, squeeze and lift again. So very standard bridging, still just as powerful for the bum and the hamstrings. Remember, keep your shoulders nice and wide and relaxed on the mat, taking your focus into your bottom and the backs of your legs. And if you're finding any cramp, just bring your legs in closer to your body. We won't do anything twiddly. One more of these. And then roll over onto your hands and knees. Because the dog is so good for backs, find your nice quadruped position. So shoulders over wrists, hips over knees. Check where your feet are. And you can keep your leg and arm on the floor if you want. We're just cooling down after all this work. Just extending away. But of course, if you want to lift and think long, so you don't need to dip in the middle, just think long and lean. Continue there. That's it. Nice and slow. More, just draw your shoulders away from the ears a little bit more, think further back. That's it. Good. That's it, Hillary. Good changeover, everyone. Good. One more on each side. And from there, let's change it into a cat. So from our lovely straight back, think about tucking the tailbone under. Again, someone's walking their hands up your spine until your head has to drop between your arms. Breath in, breathing out, unpeeling until the head reaches forward again. One more, tucking the tailbone under. Curving the back up from lower spine, middle spine, upper spine until the head falls forward. And then unpeeling from your tailbone like a string of pearls. And on that flat back position, imagine someone's just pressing your upper back in between your shoulder blades. So your heart again is reaching forward. So you're getting a little extension through the back. Keep the chin nodded. And then they're releasing. So all the time, keeping the tummy engaged. One more. Press in to get that back extension. Back to neutral. And one final one. Finish with our mermaid stretch. Little side bend. So come to a position where you're comfortable with, either cross-legged or one leg in front of the other, arms out to the side, and find the floor with the underneath arm. Reach away, bend the elbow if you can, take the upper arm overhead to find a beautiful stretch down the side of your body. Tummy button drawing in to help sit you up. And one more. So we're still trying to bend sideways between two panes of glass. And then change legs to the other way. She's just out of shot, but my dog is waking up knowing that class has ended. Oh, it does wonders for my confidence that I'm so dull she sleeps through the whole thing. Finishing off. Lovely, well done. I will just turn the recording off.